Let's bring in our friend here of LiveNOW from Fox, our oil and gas expert, Jay Young. Thanks again for being here on LiveNOW from Fox.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Mike.
Hey, no problem, no problem. So consumers right now at the pump, you're seeing prices going down. How far can we see these prices drop here?
I can see them coming down a little bit, but I wouldn't really get ready for real cheap prices. And all because of the winter blend right now, and also the war. Right now we've got some hostages out. Hearts go out to those people, man. Just there's more over there we need to get out of Israel. But right now we're seeing, we are seeing a good blend of the winter blend coming, but also too, our supplies are there. This time of the fall, September, October, it's okay. But wait till November, December, January when we really do need the oil and we don't have it, or there could be a huge conflict.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are worried about, looking at what Iran might do if they want to try to bring in the U.S. more involved here in Israel, more than it already is right there. And I mean, just paint a picture for our audience here. If Iran was to get even more involved here into this Mideast chaos, what that would mean to the prices that we see at the pumps.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be very nice at all. It wouldn't be. And of course, we couldn't go to our strategic reserves, which is another topic, obviously. But if we need the oil and Iran's not going to give it to us, we need 20 million barrels a day in the United States. And just like George Bush said in the 2006, State of the Union, we have an addiction to oil. I mean, we need oil in the United States, 20 million barrels a day. And that is not only for gasoline to go to work or on vacations, but we also need it, for plastics and all the asphalt, everything else. So we've got a big addiction. We're only producing 13. So any disruption, right now you have China, you've got Russia, you have a lot of different disruption or things that are going on behind the scenes with Iran selling on the black market a lot of oil to China. Any disruption there will hurt us really, really bad, and we'll send gas prices up $1, $2 overnight.
Yeah, that is definitely not what you want to see. Jay, I got to ask you this one here. If there was a president to come into office and just say, you know what, enough's enough. We are going to, as a country, get rid of all the red tape, all of the environmental concerns, and we are going to really, really produce oil here in this country. Could we get that 20 million and above a million barrels that we would need?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we need the offshore permits. We need a lot of other permits. We're drilling a lot in the Permian Basin, but our refineries, we're kind of limited by our refineries, so we would have to go in, increase the size of our refineries. We would have to go in, and do this because we have the oil in the United States. We're the largest producer of oil in the country, in the nation. I mean, I'm sorry, in the world. So we are big. I was thinking about Texas because we're the biggest, we're the biggest state that's producing oil. But talking about the world, we're big. So there is now. It would be hard to get enough rigs and infrastructure to get 20 million barrels a day. But we sure could make a big gain, and we wouldn't have to go to some of our countries like Iran or, these countries really keep it from us. And and when we need oil, the first, 5, 6, 7 million barrels is pretty good oil from some of our countries that we go back and forth with. We don't necessarily just give them money or they don't have something on us, but a lot of countries, they're giving us oil. We're trading with them. It's all good trade. But when you get to needing more oil, like 7 or 8 or 9 million barrels a day, and you need to go to some of these other countries, that are, we buy oil from them and they turn around and use that money to fight us in wars. It's not good. So you can see how oil prices are not good at that point. So yes, we do need more oil. We could get it. Trump was on the way with drill baby drill, right? I mean, right. He was definitely filling up our strategic reserves at $20, $30. I'm not saying I'm a Trump fan. I don't want to get political on this. He's got a lot of pros and a lot of cons. Definitely, both of that. But just talking about from the standpoint of, independence and needing oil from countries that we do great business with, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. I mean, because let's just look at the fact of Russia. I mean, so we're getting oil from them as well, and then, they're able to then spend more rockets and get more ammunition there for the fight there against Ukraine, where this war just seems, it looks like it continues to be in the hand for Russia, and it continues to drag on over there.
Right, exactly. And so it's kind of a back and forth with what goes on with the price, and some countries want, higher prices like Russia to make discoveries and get out their infrastructure. And of course they're, not a very good, the UN probably has their words about them and their trade. But also too, a lot of other countries too, they don't want oil prices to continue to go up, because in the United States, oil prices are very indicative of how economic prospects are. Your internal rate of return is a lot higher at 80, 90, $100, $150 a barrel. There's a lot of projects and a lot of shale projects that make sense at 100, 125 or $150. They're getting 80 to 100 to 120% returns at higher prices. So a lot of these countries do not want us to have higher oil prices, because then we'll just continue to drill and drill and drill just because of economics. So they're trying to keep the price lower, and then other countries are trying to keep the price higher. So, I mean, I've heard world wars are obviously have been fought because of oil, and you can definitely see why. When a country runs their budgets, 100% of their budgets on oil and oil sales, like a lot of these countries do, they sell, 5 million barrels a day. That's their budget. That's how much budget they have for their countries is only because of oil. You can see the reasons why it's so fickle, if you will, if I use that word, and very emotional and very, it could go up and down, by allowing 1 million barrels or not allowing, and how sensitive, if you will, prices are.
Yeah, so true. The demand obviously is right there. And lastly, Jay, I got to ask you, we mentioned it just briefly here in the beginning, but explain to our viewers what's the situation right now with our oil reserves in this country.
Yeah, we've got about 17 days left. What does that mean? That means that if we don't have we turn off every well in the United States and we need, 20 million barrels a day, we've got about 17 days left. That's it. Now, what are the odds of that? I don't think very good for us to shut down every well that we have, or the infrastructure of every well that we have. But that was Biden trying to win an election. I mean, that's my thought, and majority of the people that I know have said, he took a lot of our reserves out of the strategic reserves and sold them on the market to, bring prices down, which he did, and he said he did. That's what I wanted. I wanted gasoline prices to go down. He didn't necessarily say to win an election. That's not what he said. He said, I wanted gasoline prices to go down, which he did. And he won an election. But we need strategic reserves, because if all the foreign oil cannot get into the United States, everything will go, haywire, and there's a lot of disruption that'll be in the United States. But if we had zero oil come from other countries, we would need that strategic reserve. And that's what it was put together and started, back a long time ago, because of all these big World War wars and what could happen.
Yeah, so true. Jay Young, thanks so much for coming on here on Live Now from Fox, and really giving us an outline of what we're seeing now, what we can expect coming up in the next couple of months. We always appreciate it here on Live Now from Fox. The world of oil continues, really. It changes on a daily basis, and thanks so much for giving us the latest updates.
Absolutely, Mike. Hey, call me back next week, and I'm sure there will be a lot of great updates, soon. So call me back anytime. Thank you, and love your network.
Okay, great. We love to have you. So great to have you as always. We so will coming up here in the next couple of days as well.